really at the end of October already. I feel like this year just started. I would love to know in the comments how you feel. I'm Nick, and I am the host of The Person Behind the Pen. I am known as the gifted bipolar writer, and I'm also the founder of Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House. So, when I started this series earlier on this year, it was the full intention to have all the published co authors with Guiding Brilliant Writers come on and do a live reading, even if they had published books of their own, not with the publishing house. Once you work with us, you are family for life. Well, our beautiful guest backstage, Jenlyn Ford, is not only a very good friend of mine and colleague, she's someone I speak to quite regularly about the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, especially being a startup. She's always given me very sound advice. And what I love about our friendship is that we could not talk for like 2 weeks and then we talk and it's like we just spoke. We pick up where we left off. And she always understands my need to do it my way. And she's always respected that. I was blown away when she asked me if I would write the foreword for the book. Um, there was definitely some imposter syndrome there, kind of like me. You want me to write the foreword? Um, and I think in her doing so, it kind of, in my mind, took me up a notch in my worthiness because I am not like recognizing what I have accomplished with this publishing house. We were just chatting about that backstage. And so to be given an opportunity like that, it's more than doing something um, to honor my friend. You know, she, in doing so, actually gave me a great honor. And so we had a pre launch party for her a little while back. And how blessed am I to have the launch party for her today? Um, I know that we're just going to be partners for life in everything that's going on for us respectively. And speaking of that, I see so many people in the comments um, that that are just my heart in so many ways. Old friends, new friends. Lynn, I see you. It's so nice to have you join us. And big brothers out there, and my big sisters out there, and Jason. Jason's always with me. Um, I'm just grateful for everyone that is here. I know, and Kinga saying it's wild. It is wild that it's October already. I don't know how it is we ended up here, but we're a few days away from Halloween. Oh, and another incredible book launch. It's a long doorway. I am eagerly awaiting my copy. I think I was like the first person in line, like waiting, and then just went order. Um, and I honestly can't wait. I know that this book is going to be next level. It is not just a brilliant story from a brilliant writer, but this book has a lot of hidden treasures in it. I'm going to steal some of these ideas. Not sure she wouldn't mind. But there are some hidden treasures in there, like little things that take you beyond the book to the external. Um, and so when you see the video that's created for the book by the author, yes, in a little bit, trust me when I tell you, you are going to leave this live feeling completely changed in the most profound way. She has brought her storyline to life in this cinematic explosion that challenges the corners of your mind to pull the pieces together and see the whole picture. There's no way that you can't feel the individual pictures, but are you following along? And are you able at the end to absorb all that she's putting out there? So if I keep introducing her, she'll never get up here. So let's get Jenlyn up here.
Thank you so much. And you could go on and on, but please stop. But don't.
Oh,
And
you
I,
look fabulous. Like I would never think to put red and purple together, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, boom. Purple is one of my favorite colors. And even though I actually look nice in red, it's actually not one of my favorite colors, which is weird.
mm,
But like I look at it together and they're just so you. Um, they're just so you. Loud, artistic, fresh. So my God, girl, how do you feel? Like this is not, an anthology. This is your blood, sweat, and tears for years. This
mm,
is your life from birth. This is your rebirth throughout all different legs of the journey. And by God, anybody that knows a piece of your story can't help but be intrigued, right? And want to really dive right into this book and kind of like
mm,
almost be sitting there with you thigh to thigh and like, what is going through this woman's mind? I want to feel in my pores what she's feeling, and you bring that out in people.
mm.
So take it away. Your
Yeah,
told you.
I'm so excited. And I have to steal something from one of our mutual wonderful friends, Kinga, and that is like I came to be remembered, and with that definitely comes a lot of story, a lot of beautiful story, and a lot of beautiful experience. And not just to be remembered, but to remember. And I think that that's something really super powerful in life, that we can be reflective and refractive in that way. But there's something about doing it when you are telling your story, but you're also um, not dumping on people. I didn't worry too much when I write about whether or not it's going to be relatable, because something I learned very young is that we're really living different ways, and different experiences in life, but the lessons and the feelings that we feel and what it means to be human is the same all the way across. So if you're being authentic in your storytelling, you are going to have resonance with people. It's just impossible not to. And it's then that just releases so much, and then you're just able to just, pour it out, and then be yourself, even in the angle that it is that you choose to write it, how you want to talk about it. And I did something new with my writing in this. I brought forth a lot more of the synesthesia that I experience in life, which means that sounds have colors, colors smell, different things that, flowers have music, and those different sensations and extra sensory things that I experience in life. And I really leaned into that a lot more this time, which was a lot of fun.
I think it takes a certain type of person to be able to engage the senses in such a way that the senses cross over. And that's what you have done, right? You brought the sense of touch into the sense of smell, right? So, and you've done it, weaving it throughout the senses, throughout the book. So the experience when you read a portion can be felt in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And the I publish books. That's what I do. And books have a theme. Books fall in a genre. This is more than an autobiography. This is, in so many ways, like you say, an awakening and reawakening throughout the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And the morphing into the different Jenlyns, but still it's that one original core Jenlyn that all these reflections are coming from. And so they're all tied back.
Mm.
When I think of the long doorway, I think I need to step through a doorway. And there are many doorways in our life that we have to step through. But the biggest one is being able to step through with everything, right? That is the biggest one. We step through the little ones all day, every month, every year.
Yeah.
But at this very moment in our lives, are we able to step through the biggest doorway and bring everything with us in the most positive way? So that when you get to the next doorway, we repeat it, right? We're always taking the most positive aspects from the lessons we've learned, from how much we've grown.
Mm.
And even the people that join us on the path from doorway to doorway will change. Some will
Yes.
step over it with you, and some will not step over the next threshold. So I understand that we are in for a treat, that you are going to be doing a short reading
Yeah.
from the book for us.
Yeah, you shared a couple questions that you might ask, and it just really kind of came to me that this little space of pages kind of answered the question. And so the question is essentially, when did you know that your story needed to be written, and who and why, how, and that kind of thing. And so first, sharing my story, right? When I share my story, people are like, oh my God, you have to write. And or when people read my writing, oh my God, you need to write a book, right? And so it's kind of like been this back and forth thing, my all my life. So I'm going to read just a little excerpt, and then we have another surprise after that too, but we'll save that for later. So this is in, you know what, it doesn't really matter what chapter it is. You'll find it when you come along, and you'll remember this moment. So I'm going to lean into that, and so here goes. The morning after the arena, silence slid over the house like a soft curtain. The pyrotechnics in my chest cooled to embers, the kind you cook breakfast over in the mornings when you're camping. I padded to the kitchen in neon socks, pressed my sparrow lightly with one finger as if to check the altitude of my mood, and turned the kettle on. The counter was a museum of yesterday, 2 ticket stubs curled like commas, a lemon-shaped magnet holding a receipt with 5 sentences underlined twice, a bobby pin that had leapt from my hair mid-chorus and landed like an exclamation point. Steam lifted, then the whistle. I poured water as if filling a stage with light, steady and deliberate. Beside the mugs, my body remembered its chorus of scars and metal, healed incisions, replaced parts, the old ache that still hums when weather, like a cello, is tuned lowly. The houseplants held their little green hands towards the window, and I held mine toward the kettle. It's the same gesture, really. I used to think healing was solitary confinement with better lighting, a room you carried by being good at being alone. But the older I get, the more I want to tell the truth that saved me. There is no such thing as self made. There is only self met, self held, self offered, and then the chorus that answers back. My first chorus lived in the seams of a platform that was supposed to be for jobs. We made a different kind of work there. We built a fire with posts and comments, and we showed up weekly with kindling, a prompt, a question, a confession, wrapped in craft. And we called it Circle because circles don't have any corners for people to get stuck in. On Friday nights, the green room would bloom like a field after the rain. People arrived with voices still damp from doubt and left with their tongues salted with excitement. And I kept a list of the reoccurring instruments. The people who whispered and the room leaned in so far you could hear bracelets jingle on my wrist. The person who took the risk of going second. The laugh that made everyone else remember how. The silence that wasn't empty, It was a sponge, and the tiny yes that sounded like a hinge unstriking. We were a choir with 1,000 time zones, and one by one, we had one key, resonance, and we tuned to one another without needing too much. The first time I said alone together out loud in that room, I felt the words click into play like a seatbelt. I was talking about the way my nervous system used to treat community like a threat. Too many signals, too much to track, a stampede of hooves in the dark. I need solitary to hear myself. I said, but I need your listening to believe what it is that I hear. And then that sentence left my mouth and settled somewhere behind my ribs where all the lullabies hide. I look like a story because I am one, and stories are social creatures. Even the loneliest paragraphs are written to be read. We think loneliness is a lack of people, but so often it's really just a lack of permission. In the old life, I sat in a room full of bodies and starved. Meetings ran on coffee and performance. We rewarded whoever could speak the longest without saying much. We wore our availability like a name tag. We wore our exhaustion like rank. When we were praised for being team players, what they really meant was uncomplaining pack of mules with calendar invites. The first time I built a room of my own, I taped my manifesto about the laptop and I read it before we opened the door. Gather close, bring something, leave warmer, no resumes, only recipes and receipts. We are not here to audition for each other's love. People come cautiously, then with relief, and somebody always shows up mid sentence like they've been sprinting their whole entire life to make it on time. I almost didn't, they'll say, cheeks flushed, but I knew I needed to hear something that hadn't been said yet.
That hadn't been said. And so they come. I mean, there are a couple of things that stood out to me there, like there are no corners in a circle. And when I think about the community that you've built, the community I've built, and how our communities overlap, there are circles. And within those circles, no one can hide, even if they wanted to. They can step closer to the outskirts of the circle when they don't want to be as seen, but they will always be checked on because they are within the circle. And I love that. I also loved the part where you said um, something to the effect of speak for a long time, but not say much. And you know me, I'm just me. So I'll say, it immediately made me think of people who are keynote speakers, some keynote speakers, right? They go around the world and they share to different audiences, but they share the same story over and over and over again. I am stuck in 25 years ago when this thing happened and I transformed. Have there been no more transformative lessons in your life since the last 20 years? It's an evolving. It's not a step up and stick. And it certainly can't be a step up and stick because you need to feed your audience in order to feed yourself, right? I want to be able to feed myself and my audience by extension be fed. And what I love about the way that you write and the way I encourage the people that work with me to write is write for yourself. If you're writing to earn, then you write for the audience. You find the biggest audience out there. But if you're writing for yourself, you know there's the people out there that resonate, and every single person that picks up the book is going to resonate. Because, like you said, resonance is being a person to a person. It has nothing to do with the external, nothing. The poorest person can resonate with the richest person monetarily. We are all hurting and we are all joyful and we are all pushing forward. So I love that you just are.
I definitely just
Right.
am, and I love. I have to. You said something, and I love it because you said when I eat, I want my audience, to eat with me or of me, and what came to mind was, if you want your audience, your friends, your family, your loved ones, those that you care about, and just in general, the people of the earth itself, then eat decadently, my friend. You have to live life decadently so that that overflow and that overspill is full of all of the enrichment, no matter who the audience is that's in your presence.
I agree. I feel that feeding yourself should
Yes,
mean the same as feeding your brother and sister.
it
There is
is.
enough at the
Absolutely.
table for everyone, right? But you have to want to share what's on your plate and not
Absolutely.
be sitting there alone consuming the feast. Because, like you said, none of us are self made, okay? We are made by all the hands that help hold our hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I'm going to use the word jarring because the first time I saw the video, I was like,
And
because it shook something in me. It shook life into and out of me,
mm,
right? I have my life, but this was like, this is a life, and how do I not see all these deep facets of this person that I think that I know so well? So I would love to play that video now, unless there was something else you'd like to add.
yeah, no, I'll just say really quickly this this particular song is one of nine because I also created an album that goes with this book as well as 50 graphic pieces of art. And so this is Ashes for the Living is what the song is called. And I want to be in that survival that doesn't feel clean. And I want it to be in the kind where you're just grateful to be breathing, but you're still burning too. The smoke is, it still lives in your lung. The smell of the fire as you're walking through a room is still clinging to your skin. And this song is about that place. It's not rising from the ashes. You rise with them. And so when the fire nearly destroys everything that you have or that you are, it then though becomes the thing that keeps you warm. So this is the song, Rise, for just any person who ever felt guilt or shame for surviving, and or that ever felt that you were supposed to have risen but you didn't. Stick in those ashes because the ashes are for the living and the living is you. So
Beautifully said. And so I'm gonna go run the video now, and I can't believe there are 9 songs are written, uh, connected with this book. All right, everyone. So please uh, enjoy.
thank you so much.
I was raised in the furnace, every warning was flame. I got scars from my sermon, and I'll preach them by name. You can bury the body, but the fire won't drown. You can silence the story, but I'm screaming it now. Ashes for the living, fueled inside my chest. I'm not here to wither, I was built to resist. Every burn a banner, every wound a crown. Ashes for the living. Oh, dark. You can shame me in shadow, but I'll torch through the dark. You can cover the ashes, but they still ignite. I am blood and rebellion, I am fire and sky. Ashes for the living, fuel inside my chest. I'm not here to wither, I was built to resist. Every burn a banner, every wound a crown. Ashes for the living, I am burning now. Rise from the smoke and the silence, rise from the ruin and violence, rise with the scars that define us, rise. We are fire, we are fire, we are fire. Ashes for the living, light it, let it blaze. I'm no proof of survival, set the world in flames. Every burn a banner, every wound a crown. Ashes for the living, I am burning now. Ashes for the
Wow. I mean, there is no way that anybody sitting in the audience that just looked at this video is not blown away. When the whole concept of ashes for the living, you think ashes, you think dead. You think burnt, you think risen, you think all these things. But the thing is, like, we're constantly throughout life, to me, being burnt and reborn again, burnt and reborn again. And every time we get back up, there are more ashes on the ground.
Mm.
They aren't
Yes.
gone. They're there. But
Yes.
we've stamped the fire out until the next one comes along. And it's almost like baptism by fire, rebirth by fire. Every single time we break that shell. I have one last question for you. And I'm curious. I'm really curious, and I'm sure that the audience is as well. Because oftentimes when I write, even when I think, well, obviously, who knows me better than I know myself, right? I still find something about myself that I didn't know or that I needed to learn a little bit more about. So, was there a lesson or truth in this book that even surprised you while writing it? And if so, will you share with us what that was?
I mean, it's such a great question. And the answer is in the music. It really, truly is in the album. You mentioned, right? We had this pre-launch, and then it was like, I have to actually hold off a week or two on that. And that was because in those 10 days is when I wrote those 10 songs, those 9 songs, I'm sorry, and knew I had to put them together. So I put that album together to go with this because that's what was birthed out, was like, I'm not done yet. And I'm not, like, this is just one of 3. This is the first of 3 because I had to extend it. I still, even if you put all of my anthology chapters together and you put this book together and you put the music together, and like, it's still just barely this tip of this iceberg. That's, it's just the tip of, there's this beautiful quote, and I can't remember her name right now, but she was an Italian immigrant. She was a nun. She built tons of orphanages in New York. And it was said that she used to always say of herself, right, like, this world is not big enough for the plans that I have for it. And and that is so true. Like, that's what really came forth in just a really big, huge way, and just really brought a fire, like, to that roaring furnace in myself, that I can still be more is another word, right? Moving from muchness to even more. I have more to be and to give, and more to love and more to dislike, and just more of myself to share with the world, and also to receive from the world, right? And so and I know that was kind of a little bit of a ramble, but that's what it feels like, is just this absolute overpour of gratitude and love and compassion. But also with that is always the other end. There's guilt, there's misery, there's sadness. It's a some days are hard. Some things are heavy. Things draw blood. We bleed, and we, keep going. And it's not because I personally do not think that we are who we are because of those things. I think we actually bring life to that thing that we're going through, not the other way around. We bring the purpose, right, to what it is that we're experiencing. Not, it isn't bringing purpose to us. We're bringing purpose to
We're
it,
bringing purpose to it.
because we're bringing it to life.
Like,
Through
the
words,
situation doesn't change. What's changing is each of the individuals facing the situation. That is brilliant. That
absolutely.
is,
And we were talking about the phoenix earlier, and Jesse said, I see it too, and it's very true about embodying the phoenix. And the phoenix is, by choice, goes into the fire every single night, picks himself up through the ash, goes through the ash, puts all the things together that it chooses to be for the next dawn, and rises up from the flames. Like, and that is by choice. And when we can do that by choice, when we can step up to the fire and say, here I am, and be not consumed by it, but consume it, we do not have trials by fire. So if you're experiencing trials by fire, I'll just encourage you that that's the lesson, is how to become the fire, right? And then it's not something that happens in quite the same way. And I know that I need to stop because we've already gone over just a few minutes, but it's so hard not to just...
That's okay. That's okay, my friend. Thank you for your time. I know that you actually had some other medical things today, and you showed up because this is what you do. You show up for yourself. You show up for your audience. The QR code on screen above Jenlyn, you can scan that to get a copy of the book. I also shared the link in the comments of where you can get a copy of the book. Please make sure that you do the book justice and sit with it and read it and absorb it and come back and leave your truest, deepest review. You can see that Jenlyn is...
Even if you hate it,
well,
I want to know that, right? I want to know that, because it's not about, like, it is about whether you liked it or you didn't. And I know that that's not going to be the case, but all the same, even if you hated it, I say that so that you feel free to share fully with what resonated with and for you and what didn't. And I do want to add very quickly, there are 3 different forms of this book. The Kindle form is just the story only. Paperback is just the story and slimmed down versions of the graphics. The full graphics, all the QR codes, and all the full story, plus a hidden chapter from the next book, which is going to be coming in 2026. Is that's in the back, and some other surprises. So and the hardcover is an 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11, full color, full out. So it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get it. I still haven't even received mine yet. I'm dying to have it. Like,
because it's like the size of the book.
Yes. It's an experience, and that's what I wanted it to be. And I think that I get maybe $1.25 or something off of each one, because it's not about it's just about sharing the experience of it's just sharing me with you all, kind of in a way, like, here I am, come dine.
Yes, come feast, and like you say, it is an experience. And I think that in this day and age, with everything happening with AI, and AI being able to write books, and people feeling lesser than, our stories now need this elevation of being more, and more is that experience, that full bodied experience. um so with that, I want to thank you. Please go get your copy. The QR code is up there. It is in the links. I'm going to be bothering you because obviously I want to work with you on the next book. I'm just throwing that out there. I think that I could do a good job.
Yeah. Love it.
Everyone, just thank you. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the support for Jenlyn, because Jenlyn is a person that's always given of herself and a heart to all of us. And it is such a small thing to give back to her. And I actually honestly do appreciate you sharing what the royalty on the book is, because I think a lot of people are misled in thinking that you publish a book and you become rich and famous overnight. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Only people that can actually do that would be the people that buy the book and talk about the book.
And I'm fully like, I thought about, and I'll just put it this way. I am so open. You want to see the royalties? You just ask. I will just send you that little piece of paper right on over, right? That shows you what it is, like all of those things. Because
the screenshots in the anthology. Yes. Here's how much we made. Here's how much everyone.
Yes.
Because you know what? When it's not about that, it's not about that, right? It's not about people knowing your business. It's transparent because it's fair and it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, we ran over, but I know everybody doesn't mind. We certainly don't mind. No, just love everyone, and just, girl, you keep killing it. We are gonna keep being here for you. Leslie ends the show beautifully.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Jenlyn, you have an amazing night. Everyone have an amazing night. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the person behind the pen. And yes, we're going to bring somebody else on that is going to keep speaking to the power of storytelling. Nice. Have an absolutely wonderful night.
Thank you all so much.